Okay. Shabbat Shalom. I know folks are still in Shabbat. Shalom, everyone. I know folks are going to be coming in, and a lot of folks may not even know what's happening. So come on in. I'm still reading through this. Everything I'm seeing is like very, very late breaking. So please bear with me as I'm getting information in, getting things in from Truth Social. Um, I know other folks are probably coming on as we speak. I'm pretty sure Canadian Prepper is probably on this one. Paul, I'm gonna check Rumble because Paul and Adrian are probably on over at Rumble. That so yeah, bear with me. This is very, very uh late breaking. So again, I don't do these emergency alerts unless it's real, unless it's valid, unless it's been sourced. Uh thank you, Brian. I was just on the couch chilling, just thinking about what I was getting ready to accomplish for tomorrow after Shabbat. Um, honestly, should we be surprised? No. But this is still a lot to process because now the worst case scenario, in my opinion, the worst case scenario is now getting ready to happen. And things like this, this is of no joy to me because I think about my adult children, I think about my teenage children. And this is now the life. I mean, we understood this in this awakening. And wow, give me a second. I'm usually not at a loss for words, but Brian literally hit me with this. Less than it was what 15 minutes ago. I checked. I said, "Let me take a look." Yeah, I had to go on. Sorry, family. Let me get myself together because oh man. The saddest thing is he acts like he actually did something awesome. This is from him, real Donald J. Trump at real Donald Trump. This is from his Truth Social. We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran. including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Wow. Peace, peace, and then what? Sudden destruction. Now is the time for peace. Wow. Yeah, yeah, Charles. That's arrogance of the highest order. Because now it tells me things are coming to the United States. Oh, he's on his doomsday plane. Oh, he said, forget about us. All I, all I want to say is that Trump don't really care about us. Bunkers busted. Doomsday plane is flying. Trump gives 2 weeks. Now you know he lying. All I want to say is that Trump don't really care about us. I'm gonna get it into this Google Translate. We're gonna have to get some words down for Google Translate. Oh my goodness. Don't kill me. I have nothing to do with this. Please let me know the quickest way that I can go back to Africa. Let me make sure I put this in Farsi. I think it's Dari. I think that's the closest. Let me make sure. Let me get this on in here. Y'all think I'm lying. I need that thing printed on out. I'm going to have that as a voice memo. In the event that some of them sleeper cells don't be knowing English, let me do it in Arabic, Farsi, Dari. Oh my goodness. What did Kanye say? Real bad Michael Jackson. No, this is real bad. Live updates. U.S. enters war with Iran, bombing key nuclear sites. President Trump announced the United States has struck Fordo. I'll just give you that information. I'm trying to constantly refresh because a couple things are coming through. Senator Roger Wicker, the Republican chairman of Armed Services Committee, joined in the praise of President Trump's decision to strike in Iran, calling it deliberate and correct decision. We now have very serious choices ahead to provide security for our citizens and our allies and stability for the Middle East. Can you say, here comes real martial law? What was that? That was all the pretext. That was from a Robert Jimerson that was reporting. 6 minutes ago, he wrote, in the immediate aftermath of the strike, Republicans are issuing statements of support. Representative Rick Crawford, Republican of Arkansas and the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, praised the strikes and said he had been in touch with President Trump leading up to the bombings. I had been in touch with White House before this action and will continue to track developments closely with them in the coming days, Crawford said in a statement. And then here's the map. These are the nuclear weapons sites. I don't care if the bombers, excuse me, I don't care if the bombers were outside of Iranian airspace. This is Iranian airspace, and let's just take a look. There's 300 kilometers. Let's kind of get a little bit of a ruler. A little over 300 kilometers from Iran, or excuse me, 300 miles from Iran to Riyadh. Oh, gee. Don't the missiles have the capability, some of them, of going 2,000 kilometers, which is like, if you see this in the top left screen, 500 times that sucker by 4. That goes to about the K and M right there in Turkmenistan. That's darn near all the Middle East. And I got folks calling me. I got folks calling me on the live. Don't be panicking now. I got folks calling me on the live. Why you always lying? We know you always lying. And that dude had lied with such a straight face. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. Oh, on Saturday, John Ratcliffe, the CIA director, joined other officials, including Marco Rubio, the National Security Advisor and Secretary of State at the White House, where they went to the Situation Room to monitor the strikes and their aftermath. Officials said Ratcliffe had been briefing President Trump in the White House regularly this week on the Iranian nuclear program. You know, the pivotal moments of when things go from bad to worse to catastrophic, this is it. Yep. Y'all can come on in here because I'm still at a loss for words. I'm just thinking I'm still sleeping. I maybe I had one of those dreams. I was just so tired, and my body just finally relaxed, fell asleep. I think I'm sleeping. If I'm dreaming, just let me be. Don't wake me. I'm dreaming. Trump said 2 more weeks he be lying. I don't want to know. I didn't get to shop. I got 10 more days to go. I mean, am I dreaming? For real? Am I having an existential crisis? Oh my goodness. What is going on? I was listening to Yakoba. I didn't even say anything. I was in there listening. I was in and out of sleep, just consciousness, because I just been so tired. I was just like, I just gotta rest, relax. Well, Yakoba, that steel done broke today. One of them steels done broke. Nah, I think that was the seal in one of the engines and transmissions. Because you want to know why? Because the engine done blew up today. They broke their own seal. The engine done blew up today. Y'all realize that on Monday, it's going to be ridiculous. Let me see what this Bitcoin's looking like. Let me see what this Bitcoin is looking like. It's gone up by about a percentage point today. And it had been kind of climbing from 102 to 103.20. Or 102 200 to 103 200. Yeah. Yeah, this I can't say I'm surprised. I think a lot of folks knew that this was coming. We had said that this was coming. I actually thought probably next week. Let me switch on over to Twitter real quick because I'm going to switch over. I know CNN's probably going. They're probably going in. Fox News probably is Fox News probably had their little party favors on. Yes, the ratings will be coming in. Yes. Got Brett and Bear talking about that about an hour ago. That opens up the whole region. Now's the time for peace? Nah, you can't do that. You can't gaslight folks like that and say, oh, now's the time for peace. Nah, man. The tactics that they used to do on us, they can't do that anymore. Mr. G, that's the thing I'm trying to look at because let me go to this article real quick. Here we go. And I put these towards the top earlier. It says U.S. has struck 3 Iranian nuclear sites. Trump says joining Israeli air campaign. So here's this thing. This was something telling. President Trump said Saturday that the U.S. military struck 3 sites in Iran, directly joining Israel's effort to decapitate the country's nuclear program in a risky gambit to weaken a longtime foe amid Tehran's threat of reprisals that could spike it will spike a wider regional conflict. There is no immediate acknowledgement from Iran of any strikes being carried out. The decision to directly involve the U.S. in the war comes after more than a week of strikes by Israel on Iran that have moved to systematically eradicate the country's air defenses and offensive missile capabilities while damaging its nuclear enrichment facilities. But U.S. and Israeli officials have said that the American stealth bombers and the 30,000-pound bunker buster they alone can carry offer the best chance of destroying heavily fortified sites connected to the Iranian nuclear program buried deep underground. Okay, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, Esfahan. Trump said in a post on social media, all planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs, he just says bombs, was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on the way home. The problem is, Trump said B-2 stealth bombers were used, but did not specify which types of bombs were dropped. The White House and Pentagon did not immediately elaborate on the operation. I'm going to tell you this. Let me get my troublemaker here. Troublemaker!
What's up, Kara?
You popping them seals tonight. You popping them StockX seals. You popping them tag seals.
I didn't remove them seals.
Quick, put the seal back on the Moet. Put the cap back on it. Man, oh my goodness. You know they're having a party too. You know they're having a party at the White House too. Like, yeah, pop them bottles. Corks flying everywhere.
The thing for me, I think this was just like I'm just guessing, but I'm thinking it's like a little tit for tat, right? Like that's why they say bomb. They didn't say bunker buster. They didn't say tactical nukes.
Yeah.
Right. I think they just dropped a few bombs to say we went in there, we slapped them in the face and we left. That's why Trump said, now we're gone, we're safe, and we're heading back. Now let's talk peace. Right. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that means he didn't do much, because I would expect to see sales kicking off here in the States, all around the Western nations, all hell breaking loose. But I think it was just for show. That's what I think.
Or I think like this, we're technically speaking, I think we're less than 2 hours from the initial action. That's why I'm trying to comb through to look at the actual time. And I think the time, I'm here on the East Coast. I believe the time was maybe around 6 or 7, between 6 and 7 p.m. Because of 7:46, let me go right here when he tweeted that 7:46, right? I'm right here in X in X, and this is his retruths, and it showed 6:21:25 the date, and then the time of 7:46. I believe that's 7:46 p.m. So generally speaking, you'll have the operation go off, right? You'll have them clear out the airspace, probably about an hour or so, because we could see the timing. They probably were about an hour or so outside the airspace. And then he tweets, let me make sure that you all can see that, right here at 6:21:25, 7:46. So probably they're well outside the airspace. They're either in Diego Garcia. I'm thinking that they're going to probably be in Diego Garcia, or they're well outside. They're like literally out on the range in the Indian, in different places. potentially even Australia, depending on how quickly they can move, or they get on they tail it, they hightail it, and get over to the Mediterranean. They could do that within 2 hours at the speeds that they're going, and they're going pretty fast. They're going to be going pretty fast. At least 600-700 miles an hour, at least.
So here's the thing. Russia had told them, look, we have on-site crews working in those plants. If you bomb those plants, you're going to be in trouble. Now, I would expect to be hearing something from from Russia as well right now, right? I'm like, even it's been an hour or 2 hours, whatever it is. I would expect we would hear something from Russia. It just don't sound like something like we would that we expect to have happened, like the bunker busters and stuff, to really do major damage and radiation leaks, right? I have to wait and see, right? Because how Trump gonna come out and say, okay, we just bombed 3 of your nuclear sites, now let's talk peace? What? I'm like, this would be all hell in my opinion. I mean, look what Iran did to Israel, and they said, look, if US get involved, we coming after y'all too. So if Trump didn't really do a major bombing, then they might be open to talk, because they'll be like, well, he didn't really hit us with anything hard.
Well, here's this. Let me play this right here as I'm sharing it. Let me just play that from the beginning. That's a major fire. Those are major fires.
I mean, is this Iranian nuclear plants? What is it?
This is what it's supposed to say. They're saying that this is Fordow.
Fordow?
Yeah, they're saying that's Fordow.
Okay, maybe. I can't tell the difference.
I mean, but I'm just saying
I can't tell the difference today because AI is so good. I don't know what's real a lot of times today, but maybe time will tell.
But
because look, even the sound in the back, it sounds like clips, right? The little explosion. But I don't know. I just have a question mark. I'm not convinced till I see something.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I said, look, all this stuff is unverified. The only thing that's verified is literally from New York Times, AP. I even had on in there Washington Post, a couple of different articles that I have on in there. To the AP. Sorry, sound off. All right. So, and that's the thing. We don't know what type of bombs. We don't know if he used any type of low yield. Let me Red. Let me try and find that on X. Let's see what RT is saying, or even Press TV.
Yeah. I need to hear what the Russians say. Then I'll believe it.
Shalom, family.
Hey, shalom, brother Brian.
Yeah, I read it. Well, actually, I was looking at this other YouTuber. He does sports, and he happened to be the first one on YouTube to post it. And I said, well, let me check this out and see what's going on. And when I saw it, I said, let me hit up Yacoba and let me hit up Karis. And I said, well, first, let me just go check it on Google and see if it's real. And he had got it from TMZ. And so I checked it out, and I was like, oh, it's real. So I read it on Washington Post, and within the Washington Post, it was stating that they dropped bunker busters, but it didn't say what type of devices that were dropped.
Yeah, I'm over here on RT, and RT's really not have. They have that, what Trump had said in Truth Social, but they don't really have parts of Fordow site may have been destroyed. Iran's has them news. So this is coming from RT. That's in front of y'all's screens right here. That's RT verifying Iran's Tasnim news. That's Iran's official state news.
Now, mind you, we're only 2 hours in.
Well, yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. So, okay, they're 2 hours in. They have to assess what they literally got hit with. We don't know if they may have gotten hit with a low yield tactical nuke. We don't know. Some of those things, they can stay and sit. And for IAEA, even if that did happen, do you think that IAEA would initially or will report something right away? They won't report anything really right away like that. However, it is going to be a lot more dangerous, not just in the Middle East. I think it's going to be more dangerous here in the United States with everything that's coming.
Yeah, I see this one guy at RT Live. He's in the chat. He's saying that Trump talked to Putin and they arranged so that Trump says they attacked Iran, though nothing happened. That's what he said. I don't know if it's true, but I have to see evidence. It just don't sound right. You bomb somebody's nuclear plant and then say let's talk peace. I just don't see it. Don't make sense.
I'm like my great grandparents used to say. I don't believe a word of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, is this the one right here, Yacoba, that says Iran doubts effectiveness of Trump's strike on nuclear sites? Mirror News, if Trump's claim is correct, it doesn't seem to have caused significant damage. Materials were removed from there. Well, you know what? Materials were still removed from there. It is what it is. The idea, though, is if you are there bombing another country, you're there bombing another country. Truth Seeker saying, Iranian officials saying that fuel ships will not pass Europe through the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, Strait of Hormuz closed.
I know that was coming. Shalom, everybody.
Hey, shalom.
I know that was coming next.
Horizon?
How you doing? It's been a long time. I've been watching your lives, though.
Well, I guess we're going to be on bicycles and tricycles next, or horse and buggies then.
No, we're not going to be going anywhere. We're going to be stuck in our house. We're going to be stuck in our house when they declare martial law, and you're going to be calling the little government website so you can have your three cots in a hot, and you're going to be geo-fenced to your location. Do not go more than a mile away from your location.
Yep, that's facts. I was just telling my wife about that.
So let me ask y'all, shouldn't we be hearing something about nuclear radiation leaks from 3 nuclear plants hit by bombs? I'm just saying. I'm like, I'm cautious. I don't believe nothing until I confirm it.
Jacoby, you may have to give it a little assessment time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They gotta do battle damage assessment. The U.S. has to do battle damage assessment. All these intel agencies have to do everything. They trust me. They got the satellites up on in there, and they're looking and they're sniffing and they're trying to see, what's going out. So if there was something there, who knows? Who knows?
We should be seeing concerns about radiation clouds floating over to the neighboring nations and stuff. I think it was just regular bombs, and I don't think they got past the major defenses.
But I mean, Jacoba, I get what you're saying. Oh, I get what you're saying, Jacoba. But here's the thing: do you think the U.S. really cares about Iraq to the west? Or
no, but they care about Israel.
You know what I'm saying? They don't care about that. They're like, and Trump's like, man. He said that's a what is that? What is that? A triple birdie right there. Trump said he got his hole in one 3 times over.
They rain chemtrails down on their own here, so they don't care.
But they care about Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is an ally of Turkey and all of them, right? So I would think they would care. But who knows? We'll see. I'm pessimistic. That's just me.
Well, they have a lot of mountains though too, so it's very, very mountainous. So depending on how the ranges go, a lot of that fallout may just be kind of caught up in the canyons and things of that nature. So that's
Yeah.
that's probably what they're looking at. There's
'Cause-
times that they do bomb stuff like that because the Air Force is really good about that. They look at the wind patterns on the ground, they look at the atmosphere, they look at the pressures, everything else. This is what happens when you're a targeting officer, okay? You target, and based on your target, you also have to have your weapons. That's what a weaponeer does. Weaponeer says, okay, this will have this impact. The targeting officer will say, okay, this will be the best time to hit to reduce, the effects to all these other nations. They don't get it right all the time, but they try their best to, at least minimize the damage to where it's within, a couple 100 miles or so. It just depends. Now if they did use that just to shut the nuclear power plant down with no nukes, then they probably did that. They probably understood that there was probably no nukes, you know. But I really do believe that that was a setup that Russia and China kind of baited. Oh yeah, no, that's good. You know, that was a baited. So yeah, there was no diplomatic talks. There was nothing going on. They were trying to do diplomatic talks with everything else in terms of Europe and Iran. So now 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 Europeans are going to be trying to say to Iran, don't lump us in there. That wasn't us. RT stand State Department asked all U.S. passport holders to leave Iran by land.
And I want to add to the
Yeah, go ahead, Red. Go ahead.
conversation about nuclear. We are not really taught accurately about nuclear, how fission works, and how everything happens. Because they always tell you, oh, when the bomb drops, it's going to be a nuclear wonderland. It'll be hundreds of thousands of years until the land will be available again. But yet you got people living in Hiroshima, and Nagasaki. So if these bombs were so bad, why are these people able to live in these cities? It's because we don't understand, nuclear activities, because basically the nuclear fission is moving like really fast, high energy, it tears down your cells. So if it's moving fast, why would it linger in one place? The only reason why Chernobyl is still bad is that Chernobyl is different from what's going on with these reactors. Chernobyl failed from the inside, and the material ended up forming, and it's still there. So that's why Chernobyl is still bad to this point. Because if you go to where the reactor is, all the way at the bottom, I think they call it the elephant foot or something like that. You got this big old mass of material that came out of the reactor, and it's still there. So that's why they're still sitting there having that issue there. But if that was the case with the bombs, how come the bombs aren't going that way? So that, this is why they can throw the word nuclear around, and they've given us their witchcraft in these movies and all this Mad Max and all this other stuff by saying that, oh, it's the nuclear bomb that, just wiped everything out, when it's the same way if you drop a bunch of crazy bombs on top of people. I mean, remember what they did to Iraq? It with shock and awe. Like, Iraq was destroyed. It looked like something out of Mad Max. But they didn't drop any nuclear bombs. So a lot of that stuff with the nukes is how they getting people sensationalized. And you can bomb a nuclear reactor, and yeah, you might cause a little bit of problems, but it's not going to cause like this big fallout, or else they wouldn't do it. Because remember, those people over there want that land. So if they want the land, why would they contaminate the land that they want to get?
That's what they call tactical nukes. You're right.
Let me drop something real quick.
Yeah,
I heard from somebody else that Iran had already removed everything from all three nuclear sites. So supposedly they were empty.
and that's what they would have been saying. Sorry, I'm getting some feedback from some folks on the mics. I'm getting feedback there. Okay. Yeah, that's what they had said, that they had removed the nuclear material. I'm not going to say weapons, but nuclear material. Because they were even saying that we don't have nuclear weapons. We have nuclear materials, but we haven't enriched it to the point of weaponization. And everyone was saying that, even Tulsi Gabbard was saying that they don't have no nuclear weapons. And she got
So
kicked out.
did they shut down the reactors before the U.S. hit it?
I don't know if they shut down the reactors, but I don't think that they were enriching, or they had the uranium cores that were there. So you had to have the uranium cores. I believe that they removed those uranium cores probably a while ago.
They've been threatening them for a month. They'd be stupid if they didn't do that.
Yeah. But in terms of the actual power plant, I mean, it's still a power plant. They may have just had a little bit less in terms of, what was being used, because obviously you're not going to burn at full power output. You're not burning, all of these gigahertz of power. That, number one, you already have an issue going on with Israel bombing them. So you do have to actually cut down on power production, because your loads aren't there, and it'll actually cause grids and everything else to kind of burn down if they don't reduce power outage activity. So you had to reduce that activity. Now, and reducing that activity, it could have just been, regular coal or other other processes of energy production, i.e. oil, which would be, to me, one of the worst things, that besides nuclear weapons. I mean, oil is bad. Oil is bad. It gets in the air. It gets real nasty. And that's what I was showing the last time. Those accelerants, those flames that we saw at the purported nuclear site that was posted.
Nuclear sites also have traditional ways of making power too. So
Yes.
It's not just a pure nuclear on the site. They also have like coal, or like you said, some other type of power that's there. Really, essentially, when you say nuclear power, it's really just steam. They're just using nuclear fission to generate the steam. That's all it really is. So it's really like a steam thing, but they still have traditional ones. So you're right. That does look like some oil burning.
Yeah, that's an oil accelerant.
That's a lot of sulfur in there. Yeah, that looks like some sulfur or something burning. So it's if it would have caused any kind of fallout that would have messed up the land, they wouldn't do it, because you remember they got a map saying what they want to do. So it makes no sense to irradiate your land that you're trying to go to. What they're trying to do is they're taking out their power and trying to shut them down one by one.
Yeah,
isn't it the same thing they did in Iraq? But in Iraq, they hit hospitals too. But I remember they hit like bases and power plants.
Oh yeah, no, they're messing up all the oil. They messed up literally like all their oil plants. But that was the very first thing that Total and BP, they had those contracts, and they got those things built on up real quick.
But the playbook is the same as Iraq.
Oh yeah, they're gonna, but the reality is they can't roll up into Iran like that. Iraq is, if Iraq sits in a valley, right? They don't have mountains like that in Iraq. You get what I'm telling you? Unless you're in northern Iraq, like Erbil and other places. But in southern Iraq, Baghdad, Basra, towards where the Euphrates and Tigris merge together to go into the Persian Gulf, that is very low-lying areas. So you don't really have the topography is a lot different in Iraq than you have in are in Iran. Iran is just way too mountainous.
No, I was meaning the weapons of mass destruction law that they putting out.
Well, you know what? They're always going to say weapons of mass destruction because the reality is, who is the audience? The audience is the U.S. and the U.S. is going to do what the U.S. is going to do. They don't care.
I mean, look at that post right here. That right there should tell you where we're going in America. It's getting to that, like in that movie. Which kind of American are you? That's literally where it's coming to. If you just look at that, like, be careful with what you start, saying and doing, because by them jumping into this, it's going to start cracking down more on social media and all this. And this has got Gestapo secret police junk written all over it.
I'm trying to find these articles. I'm getting highlights. Iranian state television. Mr. Trump, you started it, and we will end it. Broadcast showed large graphic of American bases in Middle East with headline within firing range.
Where are you reading this from?
This is on Drudge. I'm reading this on Drudge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I like to get the actual articles. I mean, Drudge is okay, but I like to get the actual articles. And enriched uranium was removed some time ago, developing. So yeah, that is something that they would have said, because honestly, if you were there taking a photo of everything and you're living over by there, you ain't gonna be outside just having your window all open.
Not with no uranium. You'll be getting out of there.
Especially after you done saw the Chernobyl series, little docu-drama series on HBO. Oh no, get in the tub right now, put the mattress over you. Look,
and that's a part of the program, and they got that. They had Fallout, all the little radiation shows been coming out, and then that reactor was acting like a normal reactor. It wasn't even functioning as radiation. But when people get scared, they make dumb decisions.
So, Karis, quick question: would you expect? Let's assume that they did damage to these nuclear sites, reactors. Do you expect within 24 to 48 hours to be cell groups on the U.S. soil, or what do you think will happen?
That depends. That depends on a couple of different factors. Now, if I were Iran, and I hate to say if I were Iran to not, but let me put my Intel analyst hat on here. There's a couple different factors that have to occur, especially when your cells get released. One of the factors, number one, for Iran has to do immediate retaliation on U.S. troops in the Middle East, just to make sure that people know, especially their factions, their groups, know that the leadership is still alive and kicking, right? So you have to make sure that the leaderships in these different places, Hezbollah, Hamas, these other, I think Al-Nusra Front, even the Houthis and all these other groups that are Iranian linked, they know, okay, they're still good. Now, the wave that I would say is going to be coming is going to be the Iranian linked militia groups waves. That's going to be on and popping. And those Iranian linked militia group waves, guess where they're going to go for first? U.S. troops in Jordan and Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. Allies, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq, right? I guess.
Yes. So basically, Iran's going to target Baghdad. I shouldn't say this. excuse me, Iran is going to target Baghdad. Iran is going to hit Baghdad's embassy. I'm about 95% confident that they're going to hit the U.S. embassy in Baghdad. I'm 95% confident that Iran is going to do that themselves.
What you think China going to do?
China's going to continue to monitor the situation, and then I believe China will call for their citizens in the U.S. to, quote unquote, make a plan to come home.
Oh crap!
Now that's the question. What if that happens? What you gonna do? Is it time to get out of here?
Look,
exactly.
They'll put that make a plan to come home, right? And then about a week later, they'll say, they'll start giving warnings that will ramp up into, you need to leave in 48 hours. They'll give them like 2-week windows. Hey, get your affairs in order in the United States so you can be prepared to leave. And when China does that, guess what? The Indians are going to do that too.
And then there we go, Jeremiah 50, and everyone goes back to their own home.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because
the Russians probably going to go too.
Yeah, if the Russians are still here, they're going to be, the rest of them are going to be clearing out. Because that will then be the messages that they'll be getting from their foreign ministers, their foreign ministries. And then it will be a cascading effect that you would have other embassies declaring to their citizens, and they'll have their little bulletins and alerts. They'll have the little messages come on out to them on their alerts. Please visit please visit the embassy of blah 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 for the newest security alert. It's urgent that you visit. It's urgent.
Yeah, I could tell you this. If we hear China and Russia calling their people back home, I don't want to hear nothing.
Man, look. People off, man. Let me stop. I ain't gonna be like that. Ain't no 400 years.
Ain't no 400
years. Well, yeah. So that would be again for all of the high level folks that are in the United States from China. Not all of their citizens will get on out. Now, let me tell you, there's going to be some citizens that get the picture. There's going to be some citizens that get the phone calls from their relatives, because they may get it from informal methods. Hey, you may want to call, Jean Beau on out there and let them know you ain't safe. You need to start coming through. You need to start going like now.
There's some citizens that's got the phone call today.
That's true.
What source did you see that from?
No, I'm just stating it's probably some citizens that's got some phone calls today that's getting out of here. They're not going to wait around.
Oh, they're probably getting that phone call tonight. Ain't today, it's tonight. They're calling.
The rich, well-connected ones, they got that phone call.
Mm-hmm. Where I'm at here in Tampa with a lot of these South Asians, these Indians. Look, it's going to be looking like a ghost town where I'm at.
Hey, that's Red crazy. Yeah, if you start seeing them pack up, you gotta let me know.
Man,
that's wild. That is true. If you start seeing them start packing up and loading up, hey.
Oh my goodness.
Shoot. It's literally getting to that point, man. I'm still wondering about all those fighting age Chinese men and Russian men. I haven't seen ICE push out any of them. Where they at?
Yeah, and the Strait of Hormuz. So understand, Iran likes to economically pressure things. I'm still trying to look for these articles because I really believe that yes, the Strait of Hormuz is done. Remember, that's why Trump was getting rid of. They moved their troops. They were moving their troops up on out of there. They can easily float vessels over into the Suez Canal. From the Suez Canal, they can make it over into Jordan, and they can make it over into Saudi Arabia to get their people up on out of there.
Do y'all remember that nuke was on the cargo ship? I think it was a suitcase nuke or something like that. I don't know if it was 6 months, a year ago, somewhere around there. And they were looking for it and they couldn't find it. I don't know if they ever found it, and they had drones out looking for it. And if they didn't find it, who had it?
That was the story. That was the cover story. Look, I look at it like this. Are we very far off from other conflicts happening? Absolutely. Actually, I'm going to tell you this. I would have played a song back in Diddy's day, but I know that would have people feeling a certain sort of way, especially with copyright violations. But this is, if you had 24 hours to live. Da, 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 da. This is 24 hours to live. These next 24 hours is going to be very, very crazy, in my opinion. As I have to state, I have to give the brother Yakoba.
No, you're not incorrect. I was going RT, and you know how they have that timeline where they show you all the different things and announcements. The Houthis have already spoken up when you're talking about the Strait of Hormuz. Hold on, let me hear this. Yemen's Houthi official Mohammed Al-Farah has announced that U.S. bombing of Iranian nuclear sites is not the end of the war, but the beginning of the war. Warning, the time of hit and run is gone. The group had earlier threatened to target U.S. ships if Washington joined Israel's campaign. And that's from RT.
Yeah, because they have them over in the Gulf of Aden and the Arabian Sea. That's where they have the ships right now. They can target that. They can target that with USVs coming from Socotra Island. They could target that. They can even coordinate. What you all don't understand, they can even coordinate with some of the Somalis. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They can coordinate with some of the Somalis. Yeah.
Dang.
Don't think that they're just like they're safe. Nothing is safe. And if you're a Houthi and you're right there and you're just laying on out coordinates to your Iranian receiver, your Iranian handler, they could lay the target. They could actually laser the target. Remember, that's why they want you at least, like 2 or 3 miles away from U.S. vessels for that particular reason.
And they got that carrier out there that just so happens to be getting retired next year.
Yeah, exactly. So they want this like a USS Cole. They want here. It's so sad, but we all see this coming. They want to have a black or that false flag event activity because they want to see some bases burn. They want to have U.S. military men and women die in action. And that's horrible.
It's what's happened before every war. World War I, they had the Lusitania. World War II, you had Pearl Harbor. Now here we go. You know what's going to come up here. It's going to be our excuse for the war in Iraq. It was 9/11.
Yep.
Jet fuel don't melt steel beams, but it don't melt passports.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. And listen, ain't no fault found in Judah.
I know that's right.
Okay. Who was the black man in the situation room with Trump? I don't even think Trump allows black people in the situation room.
Did anybody think Trump was going to wait 2 weeks? I knew it was 2 days, right?
Why you always lying? Why?
I kind of was thinking like Harris. I thought it was going to happen next week.
I knew it was going to be like 2 days, man. Trump is not a good liar.
My man said it. Yo, he's going to be in Bedminster tomorrow on the golf course talking about, man, I told you I want to get on out here and get some rounds in.
Time to stock up on toilet papers.
Look, people are stocking up right now. I was actually thinking about running to Publix. I said, nah, but it's going to get too crazy. I'll just do that first thing in the morning tomorrow. Yeah. And I guarantee you there's going to be a line of folks. Them white folks aren't playing. Them white folks here are scared. They're scared. And they're not just going to be showing up at Publix just to show up. They're going to be showing up at Publix strapped. They're going to be showing up at Publix with the handle out on their backside. Look, am I lying, Red?
Nah, you're not lying at all. They couldn't wait for something like this. Like here in Texas, oh boy, they finna be coming out looking like they about to go to war themselves.
Yeah, they will. They're gonna be coming in with the AR slung up.
Exactly.
Talking about I need to get 2 dozen eggs because I got to make sure this lasts for a few weeks.
Y'all know y'all fear mongering, right?
It wasn't me that dropped the news. Don't even put that on that. It wasn't me that dropped the news. We just have to now deal with the reality of it.
Yep.
It's the truth.
We here now. We here now.
And anybody that live in Florida and Texas, they be like that already. So now with all this heightened, man, they ready, man. You gonna see jokers running around dressed up like 50 Cent.
Body armor with the chain out.
With the
chain. And on that chain is going to be some OC pepper spray on there.
It's gonna be
everybody's going to be looking
Lady
like
Liberty pepper spray.
Yo, Red. Everybody's going to have on their 511 tactical gear looking like Canadian prepper on out here.
Facts. This is every Call of Duty fanboy's dream.
Yeah, it is.
Canadian prepper must be in his hideout by now.
Oh, Canadian prepper is done. Prepper News is only on for less than a month.
You gonna see him broadcasting from his bunker.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I'm in the bunker. I'm not gonna leave probably for another 6 months. I told my kids, don't worry, we got ultraviolet lamps to mimic the sun's radiation, and we got plenty of vitamin D stuck in the warehouse.
I'm wondering how. I know the politics. It was already getting real spicy on the right hand side, so it's gonna be extra spicy right now. So yeah, it'd be a good idea, to just get you some stuff to not go out as much. Because these folks, they don't deal with adversity the way we do. And that's just being real.
I'm surprised Paul is not on right now.
I was thinking about Paul. We were talking about forever.
I'm surprised he's not on.
I told you, folks.
Folks. He'll be coming up shortly. He's pulling up news articles right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he collected.
Yeah, he's
He went
collecting news
about
on
30 minutes of I told you so.
it. Yeah.
He said
Hello?
30 minutes of I told you so. I told you, folks, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's interesting what's going on Twitter right now. I agree though with Mr. Yakoba. It's hard to believe anything you see because man, this AI is getting crazy, and they doing it on purpose. It's gonna be real. Don't be so quick to jump at stuff. If y'all see anything, because these folks is devious.
Well, yeah, and the whole thing is, I don't like to jump at stuff like that, but look, Brian said they did it. He's told me three words. They did it. I said, wait a second. I'm trying to look at Google. I saw Mahmoud OD. I look at him sometimes. He's very, very pro-Palestinian, but man, however his network goes, they're on point.
Mm.
And
well, I mean, Trump did release a statement in I think on X saying
yes,
he's gonna speak at 10 p.m. or something like that.
oh yes, and we will live stream that bad boy. We will live stream that one. I told him I was gonna do it. Who's the taco now? When they got my beef burrito as my bombs.
Exactly.
You know what kills me, man, is the whole weapons of mass destruction BS. Just like he did this time, right? Oh, well, we got to make sure they don't have nukes. I'm like, well, you got nukes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like with Iraq, I mean, we all knew that was BS. But then, in the end, no one got in trouble for totally destroying the nation of Iraq. Same thing here. Iran has no evidence of having nukes, and even if they did, under what law are they not justified to have it? I mean, they might as well just say, look, we are an imperialist organization and we're gonna make sure we subjugate everybody. They might as well just come out and talk like that.
See, that's what I don't get. You can have a nuke, but I gotta have a slingshot. I mean, I don't understand that. That doesn't make common sense.
Only my friends can have them. That's how that go, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that is how it goes. That's how white supremacy goes.
That's it.
And the Persians aren't. They're not white enough. I'm sorry, they're not. They don't pass the what is that, the college rule paper test. You know what I'm saying? White paper test. The Mead paper. They don't pass. Look, they don't pass it. And they're a couple shades. They're too dark, right? That isn't, and we can say that because that's what you have going on here with the immigration catastrophe and everything else. How many immigrants were arrested by ICE from Europe that were illegal? A lot of Europeans are here illegally.
Carries, is there any documentation on that, or is it just what I say goes as far as the I guess the nuclear rule?
It is really the European nations that have done that. And that's why Russia was backing out of all those treaties. China does some of the treaties on the Iranian, or excuse me, on the nuclear. But you don't see that with North Korea. You don't see that with Pakistan. They got nukes. So you're only gonna so they would love to wipe out those places, but they can't. They absolutely can't. So they have to play ball. They actually have to negotiate with them like human beings. Everyone else that does not have it, they look at them as they're subhuman. They're subpar.
Look, unless you carrying like they carrying, there's no respect.
Bingo. Yeah, they look, Kim Jong-un got to pull up like Load Dog in the post office truck. Talk about, do we have a problem? Like, look, They don't mess with Kim Jong Un. They don't mess with the Pakistanis. Matter of fact, they give Pakistanis money.
And you
to
know they
certain
want Kim
things.
Jong Un real bad, right? But they don't
Yes, they
touch
do.
him.
Yes, they do. They want them so bad. Look, they're just itching at getting at them, itching. So the reality is I'm trying to go through here. There's a lot of news that's going to be coming on out. Again, I told you I don't have everything, but what I can tell you is a lot of these. Let me look at Press TV. That's what I want to look at, because Press TV will definitely show some things. Let me get up on that. All these searches on X, because you start getting down that search rabbit hole on X, and you'll never be able to find your way back. You'll never be able to find your way back. All right, let's see. Press TV. Because that will be the source of truth. They may not have anything. Oh, here we go. Let me share this. And if you all have any articles that you all are coming across, just put that in the chat. But here's this. Press TV breaking. Iran's atomic organization to issue statement soon on alleged attacks on nuclear sites. That was 7 minutes ago. So we're going to hear something from them. This was the statement they posted 14 minutes ago. This is from Donald Trump on his Truth Social. And I'll just read it for those that are coming in a little bit later. It says, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We blew you up. Now it's time for peace.
I just got some news from ChatGPT. She says Iran declared they did move the materials from all 3 nuclear sites, and they vow retaliation on the U.S.
Mm-hmm. So here's this. Iranian TV presenter claims that only the entrance tunnels were reportedly damaged and that the main facility at Fordow was not harmed in recent U.S. strikes or airstrike. But that's still an act of war.
When has Trump ever been so diplomatic? Look at that last sentence from his statement. Thank you for, what did he say? What was that? Thank you for your attention to this matter. He has never been diplomatic like that.
No. I thought that was strange too. I did think that was strange.
But here's the other part.
That's why I said I don't believe nothing.
Now it's the time for peace. That's like saying, don't come back after us. We're done.
Yeah, you don't get punched in the face and then walk away from the fight like, all right, now let's start talking. Nah, you punch me in the face. I gotta get at least a lick. I would have had a somebody from some sort of consulate dispatched to the White House or the State Department somewhere, and I would have given them a sheet of paper. And on that sheet of paper, I would have had 10 choices on there, as in air bases, and places in the Middle East. And I would say you have to circle 5. Circle 5. You only have 60 seconds. Circle 5. Don't think about it. Circle 5. Because I would have told him those are the 5 that you circled are going to be the 5 that we won't hit. We're going to hit everybody else. You got to play the mind games. Oh, if I circle this, then that means, that's the ones that I really want. So they're going to hit what I really want, and they won't hit the other ones. Look, they know how this president is.
Trump addresses the nation coming up.
Yep. I'm gonna try and get a feed on that one. If y'all want to send me a feed in the chat.
Yeah, I'll send you one. Hold on. It's
thanks for the Cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be going on for quite a little bit of time, quite a couple of hours. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to stream this. Sometimes they'll cut me. Because I remember I tried to do this the last time and I got cut. Yeah, cut.
I don't mean to make light of this matter, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of our neighborhoods having a block party around now.
You know what though? You can, but you don't get caught. Trump will be like, "Hey,
I know, right?
I saw you on out here at that loyalty test."
I know, right?
Pledge your loyalty to Trump. Look, he's gonna have a national loyalty, fiefdom drive. You better come on up to the DMV. Look, Florida would be the first ones. Go to your local DMV and pledge your loyalty by putting your hand on the Trump Bible. We got to record you putting that hand on the Trump Bible. I would not doubt it. So that is the saddest thing to. That will be an interesting thing to witness. I'm going to say that. That will be an interesting thing to witness. Yeah, I could say fair use. I'll have to try to find it for some other places, other spaces. Yeah, Iran's like, we got something for you. We got something for you. It has footage captures a moment pro-Palestinian protesters stormed New York's Penn Station, demanding an end to the ongoing Israeli genocide in Gaza. Well, that didn't work on out. Yeah. So a lot of things are overlapping. So as things overlap, what that actually means is that you're going to start to get the fog of war, the real fog of war. You're going to start to get a lot of the confusion as things are coming through. I wonder if there's anything for Tasnim. Let me get to the latest. So they're saying only tunnels were damaged. They're waiting on the release. So now you have the U.S. and Israel joining forces. Now, with this, understand, gives Russia and China the official go-ahead in this war.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's what that's that's when I know it's about to be real. That's what I'm kind of looking for, is the Russian and the Chinese response, because both of them have treaties with Iran.
Yes,
And
they do.
Russia just actually renewed their military treaty with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I hope you guys know he changed that 2-week statement. Initially he said 2 weeks, and then I think it was Friday before he was getting on the plane. He had stated, he said a maximum of 2 weeks. That's totally different. So that was within a time range of 2 weeks when he said he give them a maximum of 2 weeks. So that could be within that time. So therefore, when they start asking him, well, why did you do it so soon? He's going to state, well, it was within that time range.
Oh, I gotta find Iranian TV. Let me see this Iran National Guard. Let me find this, because this is
Nobody tells time like me. I tell the best time ever.
I know. So good. It's the best.
I was in school. My teacher used to tell me, Trump, you tell the best time. I was like, yes, teacher, I know. My grandfather says the same. Just the best ever.
What they say, he has like a 3rd grade vocabulary.
That's how you can communicate with someone in America.
That's how you have to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah,
The average
best
American
watch.
has a 6th grade understanding of comprehension. So
And that we're just getting dumber by the second, because it's like, what are we gonna do next? Let me see what's going on with Mr. Beast. Folks just lost their mind.
L Trump, we're going to war. L Trump.
Here's this. Brian Herod at the Get the Daily Dirt 1 minute ago. He says former Fordow nuclear facility goes up in a fireball. Iran National Guard. The war has now begun for us. Iranian TV. Every American city, or excuse me, let me read this. Every American citizen or military member is a legitimate target for us.
I think he need to edit that. Except African Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that caveat in there.
Exactly.
Right, listen. If I was over there, I would try to find me some civilian clothes. And oh no, my friend, I am from Ghana. Oh, I am from Ghana. I do not even know I am here. What business? I am just here on business.
I'm like Ali. Ain't no Iranian ever called me nigga.
I know that's right.
Look, whatever you do to them, don't do it to me, okay? Whatever, look, you know I wasn't here by choice. I got kids, we're going to be breaking down American history. Well, 1619, it all started. Point Comfort. Everybody will be reciting, American history from the perspective of a transatlantic slave trade. We're going to be saying, don't you know that we have something in the UN right now? And I'm just trying to survive, man. I'm just trying to survive.
That's why I'm going to be giving MacDill Air Force Base a wide berth. I ain't going nowhere near it.
Nah, yeah, exactly. No, that's target number 1 around here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I ain't going nowhere down there near it.
Well, I mean, that statement didn't exclude civilian locations, right?
No, it was blanketed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was blanketed.
To put it in street terms, anybody can get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let me finish reading this tweet because it expands a little bit. Iranian state television issued an official concrete threat against the United States and its citizens following the American strike on nuclear facilities in Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. A presenter on state television stated that now every American citizen or military personnel constitutes a legitimate target. Iran TV rapidly putting out updates. Iranian state television, Mr. Trump, you started it and we will end it. Broadcast showed large graphic of American bases in Middle East with headline within fire range. State TV claims no radiation leak. Enriched uranium was removed a long time ago. Ayatollah says he's willing to die a martyr.
Dang.
He said, I put my life on this. Oh, my goodness.
He basically said on folk in them.
He said, I put on my mom's. My mother.
On folk in them, they going to have to come kill me.
When you think about it, how different is what they're doing compared to Black Wall Street?
Oh, man.
I see some Negroes having banks and movie theaters, and we can't have that. Oh, they got their own weapons now? Nah, we can't have that.
I mean, only one country has used it in the war. That's all I'm saying.
There's only one country that everybody should be worried about.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, snap. No. The pending war with Iran. Game 7 of the NBA Finals has been postponed. Darn you, Trump!
Hey, they want everybody to know what's going down.
The league cited logistical concerns. The general vibe being off, and most of the National Guard being busy. Home makeup date announced. Oh, no.
You know what that means. Oh, no.
They know what's coming in.
Mm-hmm. Terrorism.
Yeah.
No gatherings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dang. That's crazy. For them to turn down all that money, you know it's real.
Oh, I guarantee you every Walmart is probably stacked right now.
Nah, they ain't got no more 24-hour Walmarts, but when, as soon as the morning hit,
oh, yeah,
everybody gonna be lined up.
Yep.
All the toilet paper gonna be gone.
Jabroni Unbelievable said, oh, they scared if they cancel.
Exactly. Exactly.
No.
You know it's real.
Yo. Oh my goodness.
Bro, that kind of blowed me. That's kind of crazy. Like, that's serious.
The last time we had a cancellation like this of an NBA game was COVID.
Was it COVID?
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. It was COVID. Yeah, it was COVID.
Man. Oh, yeah. They're going to be like, nobody show up to work on Monday. Matter of fact, everybody's teleworking. I don't even want you anywhere near me. Oh, no. They can discriminate now. Yeah, Trump made it illegal. He said, I think that's fake. I don't know if this is a parody or not. I'm really not sure if this is a parody.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's go to ESPN. Because that's kind of crazy if that's the truth.
Yeah, I think it may be a parody. So we'll get some.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it's a funny one, but let's get some real consensus on there.
Nah, I don't see nothing on ESPN talking about it.
Yeah, this is something interesting. It's something interesting. Who is this? Iran is calling with regime force. No, that's an old one.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's not nothing on there saying it's gotten canceled. If they did, I was about to say, bro, like, what the heck?
Yeah, I thought that they play tomorrow, though. I thought it was a mistake. I thought they play tomorrow. But I'm gonna tell you, we have 24 hours. Let's see if Trump is going to be coming on. It says watch live at 10 p.m. So we'll see. I actually kind of want to see how Trump looks. I want to see what his face is like if he know that he messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Did you realize it? Did you realize you done messed up?
See, Sky News, don't got nothing yet. Oh wow! Even the Daily Wire done went live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is some historical stuff.
Everybody going live. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, they said get up, your weekend's over.
Mm-hmm.
Why they gotta do it on a Juneteenth weekend? What's up with that, Trump? Why you gotta mess up a black person's holiday?
This is the algorithm for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, I got your thing. New Horizon. Oh, this is essential.
Trump
This is
says
essential.
Iran must now agree to end this war. What? I would be trying to figure out how to pull back.
There's no
So
pullback.
you're just gonna punch me in the eye and that's it. I mean,
That's
I can't hit back.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't hit back. I can't do nothing. I just gotta let you punch me in the eye and it's over with.
Hey, we just gotta let bygones be bygones, bro. I know I just
That's
hit you
it.
in
It's
the
over
eye.
with. That's it. All right.
But we gotta be the bigger man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can hit me, Mr. Bully.
ain't not too many men like that, right? You're not gonna hit me in the face, and I'm gonna just walk away. I mean, I guess
I know.
it depends on who you're trying to protect, but I'm just saying if they're gonna come back.
I know. I ain't built like that. So
I'm not built like that. Man, I'll be
I'm not
praying
built like
hard
that.
for to hold me back.
I'm trying to tell you, I can't even be on social media like that because I see some stuff and I can't even. I got to stay off of it because of certain stuff I see make you angry. So
Yeah.
Iran is definitely not one of them either. Because
now they ain't nothing to play with. You know, they'll strap them things on their body and it's over with. You know, they one of them type people.
man, those missile responses that they did over on Israel was pretty substantial. You know, they basically banned recording of strikes because of it, because they went in. Those strikes was going down. So
But what got me is when you watch the so-called media. Well, we know who puts the media out that we, the regular media that if we look at it, that we see, and it shows that that nation over there,
yeah,
that they're
I'm sorry to interrupt
destroying.
you. President Trump's live.
Oh, he is? Okay, okay, go ahead.
Let me see if I
You
can
should.
get to that.
You got the Fox News link?
Yeah, let me see if I can get to that real quick. If hopefully I don't get this is informational, fair use YouTube. No, I don't think you can hear
You
it.
got to share it with the audio.
Yeah, give me a second. Let me shut that down because I gotta replay that. Give me a second. Oh, the joys of YouTube and StreamYard. Okay, let me try to present that.
He's just thanking the guys who flew those magnificent machines.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be thanking folks.
Congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general.
All right, can y'all
and
hear
all
that?
of the brilliant military minds involved
Yeah.
in this
All right,
attack.
good.
With all of that being said, this
Fair
cannot
use.
continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them.
We love you, God.
God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm gonna shout out my boy God.
He has
Thanks for
totally
holding it
lost
down,
his
God.
mind.
Love you.
Isn't this the same guy said he's not a Christian? I mean, now all of a sudden he's talking God.
Yeah,
Didn't he
he's
have a little
scared
bitty
though.
hat? Didn't he have a little hat on about like 2 years ago? No, 4 years ago, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think he's scared.
Yeah.
Don't need more bloodshed. Oh no, he's scared.
Look at his body language. You see how he's kind of bent over. He's not
We've gone
confident.
a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them.
Love you, God.
God bless.
Yo,
the
you
Middle
saw
East.
that?
God bless Israel, and God bless.
I don't
God,
think
I'm
he
scared.
wanted to move in like this. I really don't think
Nah,
he
he
wanted
didn't.
to move
Watch
like
when he
this.
walk off. You guys just check out when he walk off. As
Yeah, let me
Karis
do
plays that.
Let me do
Watch
that.
when he walk off. Look at his body language.
America, thank you very much. Thank you.
Check out his body language. Look how he bent over.
Yeah, he's kind of slumped.
That's nobody's as confident. He's not
Yeah, that's,
confident.
he's
Nah,
got the weight of his shoulders.
Yeah, look at his
I don't
shoulders.
know.
He's
He wanted
slumped
to do that
over.
straight. He didn't want to do that straight. I don't think.
Nah,
he did.
he's been dictated to.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
he was told to do
Exactly.
it. He said, "You better do it. I'm going to be releasing some Epstein files."
Right.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Don't you know who your daughter's married to?
Somebody got pictures of him with some kids. I heard that's how they got him to do it.
Well, his daughter married to them folks too. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a lot going on.
They said Diddy got some photos on him. That's what's keeping Diddy alive.
Take that. Take that. I thought I
That's
told
what's
you that
keeping
we
Diddy alive
were.
in federal lockup.
Hey, Diddy's sitting back right now. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that.
Dude, like you too, Trump.
They got you, man. They got. I was trying to release. I said, let me not drop a nuke at least. Let's just do something a little bit smaller. Oh
yeah, when he said that first God, he heard that voice crack. That
God,
God.
You love
Yeah,
you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to die, God. I don't want to die.
Yeah. I don't think he really wanted to do this. He didn't have his usual. I mean, he did his usual way of talking, but it seemed a little different this time.
That ain't that brassness.
He never calls on God. So for him to do that, like you guys said, maybe he was forced to do it, and this is his way of saying, God help me because I'm in something I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nah, I did not get the vibe that he wanted to do it. Like you said, he did not come. His body language was real shook. It's like
That's
he
the first thing I
understands.
noticed when he walked away.
I've never seen Trump that shook.
Yeah,
Shook.
even after the
Shook.
gunshot.
You know, we used to have a saying when I was growing up. If you scared, say you scared. Go to church and call the police, and he got to do either one of them.
Was he listening to
Something
Nas
wrong. He's
Cypher?
scared.
You know? Oh, look.
Scared. He's
Got
scared.
real shook by Khomeini. Oh, my goodness.
Man,
But he drugged the U.S. in the war. Don't get that twisted. He drugged the U.S. into war.
yeah.
And nobody can say that, well, it's not the U.S.'s fault. No, it is. And here's the reality. Why is the U.S. now in war? Because the reality is that Israel is getting their behinds kicked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they couldn't hide that anymore. 2 weeks? Nah, they probably called Trump like, in 2 weeks, this place is going to be gone. No, you need to intervene now.
Yeah, but now it's going to get worse. So we need to start looking at Kazaria 2.0 video again, I think.
Yes, you do.
Man, facts.
Yes, you do. Because where are people going to evacuate?
Mhm.
I believe that they had the route through Syria. Remember, that's why they had
Good point.
that's why they had Assad, right? Assad had gotten deposed so quickly with the help of who? With Turkey.
Mm.
Nah,
They have-
don't worry about it because you're gonna be back. Because they're telling Assad, I believe this. This is just my personal opinion. I believe that the reason that Russia was real cool about this, because he did not want to see Assad go. And now Assad is in exile in Russia.
Mm. Yeah, he is. I
Remember,
forgot about
Assad didn't make that big of a plea. He didn't make that big of a deal. Because he was told by Russia to, hey, just shut up, we got you. They were probably telling them, no, we need Assad to leave so then we can boogie on out to Turkey. And then from Turkey, we have either Europe or we have what? Armenia, Azerbaijan, right there. Khazaria 2.0.
And they've been leaving out of there a lot too.
Mhm.
The Israelis been leaving because most of them dual citizens, so they've been leaving.
Yep. They've been on boat to Cyprus. They've been traveling to cross the border into Egypt and Jordan. Because all Jordan would do is just fly south into Egypt, cross over Gulf of Aqaba and go right into Egypt, and then fly on up. It'll be about a good 15, 30-minute detour. Sidestep Israel. Because you ain't going to be trying to fly through Israel, not with all them waves of rockets going on. You're heading south. You're heading south from oh man. I'm trying to remember the airport in Jordan. Is it King Faisal?
And they gonna have to run, but that whole area finna be engulfed in it because that junk gonna spread.
Oh yeah. Because no, they're gonna hit Jordan.
Mm.
Jordan's gone. I
understand.
told you, Jordan's gone. They're gonna hit Jordan. Saudi Arabia. They're gonna hit parts of Saudi Arabia, and then they'll tell the Saudis will tell them that they got to leave. They're about to be. This is. I remember. I was saying. I didn't think that the U.S. was going to have that much time in the Middle East. I didn't think so. I didn't think they had that much time in the Middle East. So what do things look like when you are a bankrupted nation?
Mm.
How are things supposed to look when you're a bankrupted nation? Iran retaliated on us because Israel hit Iran, and then Israel was getting pounded. No, let's just be honest. They were getting pounded. They were turning into a Gaza 2.0. They were getting pounded. And as they were getting, as that was turning into a Gaza 2.0, remember, they were getting mad at Trump. Oh yeah, they're gonna get that. I think they wanted them to attack much earlier in the week. But remember, we had said this. I said it yesterday on Q2A. You probably aren't going to have them attack. Not in the week. They can't afford to attack in the week. But now it's like, whatever. Iran's going to hit them tomorrow because you want to know what Iran is going to want to do? They're going to want to hurt the U.S. monetarily. And if they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and they shut down not just the Strait of Hormuz, the Houthis then shut down the Bab al-Mandeb. This is going to look really bad. So now oil, folks are going to need to go to the pump first thing in the morning or tonight. I wouldn't. To me, I wouldn't even wait. Just in all honesty. I think crypto went up by 1% today, less than 1%. So, yeah, they're expecting a retaliation. I'm expecting a retaliation. I'm not going to lie. I am. They opened the door to Iran, and Iran is going to dive on in. You realize they didn't just open the door to Iran. They actually opened the door to Russia and China. They're going to dive on in.
Well, I mean, if they have a defense contract between Iran, China, and Russia, I mean, the only thing that can happen is escalation, I would think, right? I mean, either that or you're going to look like a pushover, saying it nicely, right?
Well, but the thing is, they didn't look like a pushover when they responded to Israel.
Yeah, but it's like when your big brother come, you were fighting the small bully, then the big bully come, right? And you're not ready to fight the big bully, you were ready to fight the small bully, right? But now you got two big brothers on your side to deal with.
But Yakoba, just think about this. What was China bringing earlier this? Tayu. Sorry, Tayu. Y'all, y'all sound the same. I'm tired, and y'all sound the same. We've been over here. I'm not up this late at night. I'm just on the adrenaline of, seeing Trump just walk off like dead man walking. He looked like he was walking to his funeral, didn't it?
He did.
He did not look confident. No.
No, he did not. But China came through on like 4 different occasions with big old Airbuses, A320s, A340s. These are some big boys.
Yeah.
They came through and they were dropping off some things. they were dropping off things. Look, the plug came through. You know what I'm saying? the, the Iranians were in the airport looking like, yeah, got my connect. My connect came through.
I think Taiwan should be feeling real antsy right now.
Yeah. Yep. That is
you think China ready to do that?
They out there.
Been ready.
Yeah.
I know they've been doing exercises, but I'm not. I just feel like they're not ready to pull that trigger yet.
Well, here's the thing. Why not? Why not pull the trigger? You know you're
Because
about to engage in Iran.
Well, yeah, if that's a guarantee, then you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, this is all the geopolitical cards are all going to fall on this one, because now you have Taiwan. When Taiwan triggers, that's North Korea. Once North Korea triggers, there's going to be other little small and minor skirmishes and flare-ups.
So the next 6 months going to be pretty interesting, I guess.
Next 6 months. we don't even know what the next
6 days.
Next 6 hours.
Yeah.
Shoot. Wake on up. How many bases are gone? How many did they? Oh my goodness.
You're right. It could happen.
It could happen. And I mean, that's why I want to tell people this thing, it has started. Trump kicked this thing off. So now you're going to have all these groups, and here's the kicker. I'm going to say this. What was funny, I was watching something on Times of India. The Iranians told their Shia militia groups, they told their proxies not to do anything. They told them to stay away. Do you know what that means when they're telling their proxies to stay away? You got to tell your folks to stay away from a target that you're getting ready to light up.
Stay away from what target?
From the military bases. Yeah, no, from the military bases there in the Middle East. Oh yeah. No, they're. Here's the thing. Oh, they're itching. They're itching. But Iran's telling them to stand down because Iran's going to take the first strike. I believe when Iran takes that first strike, especially on those bases, afterwards, they're going to be all giddy, and then they're going to strike too. So it's going to be like salvo and volley and salvo. It's going to look real ignorant. It's going to look real crazy.
Well, the only one who hasn't been touched yet is China, right? I mean, they've touched Russia where they shouldn't have already, and now Iran. I wonder if they're going to do something to China.
I think they touched China through Taiwan. I think that's where a lot of folks don't understand, because that economically hinders China, especially with the AI chips and everything else. SCMP or not? That's the Morning Post. That
TSMC.
Yes, thank you, Red. I know you're gonna bail me on out. You with the chips, right? That is the Taiwan, what is it? Semiconductor manufacturers, I believe. And that conglomerate, that is a Taiwanese held conglomerate. But remember, that's NVIDIA.
Yes,
And
sir.
NVIDIA is American based, but they produce in Taiwan. So
Yeah.
they just declared war. They have a pact, and now China can say we're securing our interest.
Exactly.
Could they go after Iran? Yeah, they could go after Iran tonight, technically speaking. Because why? Hey, you did that to an ally of ours. We don't know what you can do behind our back. What happens then? The tech sector of the United States falls apart. That's AI. Their AI, the manufacturing, that's computers. Now, will the U.S. still allow trade and commerce to come from China? Yeah, absolutely. You know they need that.
Yeah.
But the U.S. will try to say, well, hold on. We're going to negotiate. Let's negotiate with Taiwan. Let's negotiate with Taiwan. We'll negotiate with Taiwan when you're able to get things taken care of in the Middle East. And do you now know that the conditions are going to be a lot more harder for Israel because of what the U.S. did? It won't even be a two-state solution. This is going to be, you all need to leave. Because think about this. Think about this. If the U.S. forces leave the Middle East, would Israel stay in the Middle East?
Nope.
No,
Without
they
the
won't.
U.S., they finished.
No, that's all you. And I think people have to understand. Well, why are we there in the Middle East? Why are we there? Is it for oil and things of that nature? No, it's not really for oil.
Hegemony.
It's hegemony, but that's literally a layered defense. It's a layered defense for all those bases, so they protect Israel. And if you have your defense leave, because number one, they're not going to be able to defend or defeat the hypersonics. They'll go through. They'll do the same technology because literally all the Iron Dome was the same technology of the THAADs and the Patriot systems. That's all the Iron Dome was.
Yeah.
It was just a lot more interwoven, interlaced, neighborhoods and everything else. That was Iron Dome. The technology was still U.S. based technology. That's all that was. That's why they're getting scared of, hey, they're going to probably run out. And that's why Ukraine was scared. Remember, Ukraine was scared because the U.S. had to reposition their air defense to the United States, 6-7 months ago? So they knew that this was coming. Yeah. Trump is the opposite guy. He's bizarro. he talks backwards. But for Trump's case, he's Belial, right? So whatever he says is a lie. If you want to know the truth, what he's saying is the exact opposite. Oh, he said thousands of flights are already being canceled by major airlines. That's Tim in the chat. Wow. Yeah. A lot of things are probably getting ready to go down. It's going to look kind of crazy. I'm trying to see what's going on with these agencies, or excuse me, these news agencies. Because things are really just, they're changing on the hour, or basically every other minute. This is what leader of let me share this. This is what leader of Islamic Revolution Ayatollah Khamenei cautioned regarding an attack on U.S.
آمریکایی‌ها اونایی که با سیاست‌های این منطقه آشنا هستن میدانند که
Well,
آمریکا در این قضیه
that's him talking in Farsi. I thought it was gonna be a little bit better. All right, first footage emerges from Fordow after they're calling it now, illegal U.S. strike on nuclear site. Here we go. Okay. That absolutely shows nothing. I guess that's great censorship. Because that did not show anything. Here's this one. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says he is gravely alarmed by the actions taken by President Trump against Iran's nuclear facilities, calling it a direct threat to international peace and security. And he states, I'm gravely alarmed by the use of force by the United States against Iran today. This is a dangerous escalation in a region already on the edge and a direct threat to international peace and security. There is a growing risk this conflict could rapidly get out of control with catastrophic consequences for civilians, the region, and the world. I call on all member states to de-escalate and to uphold their obligation under the UN Charter and other rules of international law. At this perilous hour, it is critical to avoid a spiral of chaos. There is no military solution. The only path forward is diplomacy. The only hope is peace. Okay. Anybody want to take a tab at that? Brother Red, what say you?
Well, one song comes in my mind. It's the final countdown.
Yeah, I can't do that, or my thing will get shut down. I'll get copyright strikes. I'm literally on copyright probation and all that stuff. Exactly. All right.
I mean, that's pretty bad. It's basically everything is set up right now for all of the people that have beef with America to act and to be within the law for them to act. And I think this is what they were waiting for.
Because what are they trying to now set up America as? A lawless state.
Lawless, yep. Which will give them the right to go in and take out their bases in Taiwan, because China will say we're going to try to get rid of their lawlessness in the region, and then boom, that's pretense for them to move in.
Do you see? So when we're talking about, the UN is going to be coming in here, the UN is going to be coming in here.
I know. That's interesting. If the UN, man, it reminded me of that lady that had that dream that she said she saw blue hats in America.
Why is that? They're
We'll have some
already saying,
POWs getting laid out.
exactly. What are they trying to say?
Man,
I call on member states to de-escalate and to uphold their obligations under the UN Charter and other rules of international law. You just had Iran say that this is an illegal action. What have they been saying? This is an illegal action. First footage emerges from Fort Al after illegal U.S. strikes on the nuclear site.
they're using the words purposefully.
Yes.
They're using their words purposefully because Russia said the same thing. And if it starts to look like they keep going through the UN, and that's what's going to end up happening. They're probably going to have a session. Do they even have emergency sessions on Sundays?
Yes, they do. Yes, they will.
Have an emergency session. I would not doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it if Russia called it too.
Yeah, I believe Russia will call it. Either Russia or China will call it.
Mm-hmm. They're going to get the Security Council together. And, yeah, it's not going to look good for America. That's why Trump is looking a little shook. Because it's...
They're gonna have to look. It's only sounded crazy because we were saying it. Oh, you black folks just exaggerate and y'all don't know anything and all that other craziness. We get that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We know nothing. We're just here, just giving you the play by play by play by play. Y'all better get ain't no 400-year prophecy mugs.
Fearmonger, you're being a fearmonger.
Does he have popcorn bowls? Ain't no 400-year popcorn bowls.
Come out here fear-mongering everybody with all this hyperbole. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever happens.
This is bad, man. This is really, really bad. Like, whew, wow. And we said it like earlier in the year. I remember when we were talking that this summer was probably going to be when everything went down. And then here we are.
It did. Right at the beginning of summer. Red, you know that this is the beginning of summer. Literally, the meteorological, beginning of summer. Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Now the sun's going to be going down. The days are going to be shortening. Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm. As soon as summer starts, then here it is. All this stuff is about to happen. And it's been happening rapidly. So this coming week, oh my goodness. Oh man. It's about to be wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're looking at this. My goodness. So that was part of NATO operations. For sure, wherever they go, they never leave. I was in Bosnia with NATO force. Yeah, UN's going to come through. I'm telling you, they're going to come through and they're going to set up shop. Yeah, I think 6 months is going to be a little.
Yeah, it's happening way too right. In 6 months, we could be back in Africa for all we know.
Yeah, for real. No, man, that's
I know, that's just like, bro, the way things is happening, it's kind of crazy. It's honestly just a trip to see that this is all happening. Like, man.
Yeah, because I don't think y'all realize it's not gonna go down to think the way that you think it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down, and there's gonna be civil unrest here because of what's been happening. There's gonna be civil unrest. I believe that the UN will deploy for the sake of not American citizens, but for the sake of their own citizens trying to get out of America.
Yeah, that's true. Because I can definitely see protests popping up, especially, the paid opposition stuff. I can already see that popping and brewing. And, we already had an enactment to put that in people's spirit with this No More King stuff they had going on. And, we're getting normalized with military reactions all in these cities and stuff like that. Like it's about to go down.
Man, look, what did they say? Someone was trying to prophesy about July 5th, 2025. Well, I don't know about y'all, but whew, man, it's starting to look kind of interesting on out there.
Remember that brother that had that dream about seeing like basically rockets on July 25th? On July 4th of July?
Do y'all know that July 5th is in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like next week, isn't it?
It's in 2 weeks. That was the whole dream, and
July the 4th is Friday after next.
There's gonna be some fireworks on July 4th. And yes, no, Congress did not have to. Congress does not need to approve limited interactions. This is a limited strike. Now, the Iranian response to the U.S. on the air bases, that would be the justification for Congress to go to war against Iran and any Iranian ally. That's what they wrote into law back in 2023 time frame. We love you, God. God help us. We love you, God.
I'm just wondering how the Christians are gonna rationalize this if, let's just theory craft and say this war escalates into a real crazy point and, one group of people actually gets pushed back. How are they gonna reconcile that?
They're going to reconcile it looking like the Clinton Bixby episode of Chappelle's Show. Show us your face, brother. Y'all want to see my face? That's what it's going to look like. And, the Ku Klux Klan member's head, exploding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially because Caesar Borgia didn't come out of the sky and save him. So that's going to be real interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the rapture's going to happen within 2 weeks. So
you're going to have a whole bunch of these prophets come up. I seen Jesus coming out of the sky.
Jesus told me that we're going to be leaving July 4th because he loves to come down from heaven in fireworks. And his golden Trump shoes with a Trump Bible.
Jesus is gonna come and he's gonna grab those hypersonics and save his people.
Oh my goodness. I still, to me, this still doesn't even feel real. I'm still like numb because it doesn't feel real.
For real. For real, I feel kind of like what Garth said. I'm still taking it all in because I'm like, dude, this is serious. Like, this is this is what we've been talking about, for the past 5 years. What many in the ministry and the community have been talking about since 2016. They were saying, Tail Ministries is crazy. Sister Shonda, she's nuts.
We're all crazy. Everybody was crazy till Trump ordered that airstrike, and he looked like he was mad sheepish. God, we love you. He was about to have a benediction. Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
There'll be a lot of people realizing they Hebrew the next day. You know what? I don't think I'm FBA no more.
Yeah. I need to leave this land before this land, starts to glow in the dark at night. Yeah, just maybe.
Be a wasteland for every foul rock and foul bird.
Mm.
Just saying. It's. I don't think some folks that see. I don't think they really understand like the majorness of this. It's like it's about to go crazy.
They don't. They don't. I think that. Well, Red, listen, we got that container out just in time.
Man, the Most High is so good.
Did we not?
That thing went off just in time.
Just in time.
Like,
Hallelujah.
man,
That container is on its way.
But he's always right on time.
Yeah. Mm.
For real, man. Like
Y'all don't even know I can't even tell y'all all the things I do in the background that I've been knocking out in the background. And all this stuff now is like, wow. If I could only even breathe a little bit of what I've been doing, y'all would not even believe it.
I know right now these ports is probably finna look real stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be hard to move anything right now, especially where the Houthis talking about they're finna go off.
Yeah, Houthis are gonna probably go off. You may get a couple of different sleeper cells if they do anything. They do anything. I would really doubt that they would even broadcast it. I don't even think they'd broadcast it. Why would you want to broadcast that and get people nervous and upset?
Yeah, they probably gonna try to keep it quiet. You're just gonna start noticing slowly that stuff gonna stop being replaced on the shelves because they can't move any more equipment.
Yeah. You may hear explosions and see things on fire, and it's like, what's that? Oh, don't worry about it. Keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Look, there's a new basketball game. There's a new football game. There's a new celebrity incident. Go pay attention to that. Don't worry about the flames in your backyard.
Yeah. They're gonna have to move up GTA 6.
Yeah. Rockstar, we're gonna need you to release GTA 6 next week.
Yeah. We're releasing beta. The full version won't be available until next year. But we said, you know what? Let's just do it right now.
Exactly.
Don't worry about the bugs and glitches. Y'all are gonna help us to have a great product.
We're gonna put it in early access for a couple months, so that way, y'all can get in there and play. They about to have all the distractions on 13, not on 10. It's gonna go above.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Look, they're gonna listen. Not only that, they're gonna have a new Delta Force movie.
Man.
You gotta Leave the World Behind too. That'll be on Netflix. Leave the World Behind too.
It's goofy. Yeah, this one's different. It's quite different.
Yeah, this is going to be very different. It's going to be interesting in terms of how they're going to not just shape the narrative, but what that retaliation is going to look like.
Yeah. Oh, they're definitely gonna. If they hit over here, they're going. If they don't shut the internet off, whoever's attacking, the government will.
Yeah, the government will shut it down.
Because they already, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago when they had somebody shoot at one of the power substations, and they never found out who did it. This car just drove by and just licked off shots at the substation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it happened to 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken. 2 of them.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. They had issues. They actually were having some issues last year with things catching on fire in different places.
I think those were soft. soft runs, test runs.
They were. Ilhan Omar saying the attack on the Iranian nuclear facilities is dangerous and a restless escalation. Says the American people are tired of endless wars. So, you're definitely going to be seeing folks coming through. That's going to be another issue, another hot spot. That's what I like to say, another hot spot. Let me jump over to RT. And they're giving Trump's speech on RT. MTG blast hypocrite AOC back in U.S. proxy wars against Russia and Ukraine, but not Iran strikes. Yeah, because everybody's going to have to get on code.
Mm-hmm.
White House Post Situation Room while bombing Iran. No sign of Tulsi yet. Tulsi Gabbard didn't get invited.
Mm-mm.
Tulsi Gabbard didn't get invited. He's going to be out of that administration. He's going to be frozen out.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was correct. She said, look, get ready for a nuclear event.
Yeah. Somebody going to drop it. Now it's like, is Russia going to drop it? Anywhere near Ukraine? Is Iran going to drop it? Because, it is very coincidental that last week, there was an earthquake in Iran. And
there was an earthquake in Iran today. There was an earthquake in Iran today.
Very interesting. Almost, like somebody is testing something underground.
Oh, they actually have a real video. Here we go. This is a real video. And you'll see the explosion beyond that building. Yep.
Yeah, break the sound barrier.
Mm-hmm. It shook, so the light came on, or they may have thrown on their light.
We take it for granted, but missiles are kind of crazy, man. It's like you're just standing there, and all of a sudden you hear something just whistling and flying bright at you, coming like that's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, they're showing the strikes. They're showing the impacts. They're showing the impacts.
Oh yeah, you see the smoke popping up.
Mm-hmm. And you see the fires in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You see a big old ball of fire here in a second. Yeah, look at that sucker. Got that fire cloud.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to hit them bunker busters, but man, Iran deep in the mountains, man. You ain't getting down in there that easy.
Mm-mm.
This is
U.S. dropped 6 bunker busters. Said U.S. dropped 6 bunker busters. I don't know if they dropped that. I think that's
looks like file footage, yeah.
Yeah, that's Pentagon file footage. They're just showing how that goes, and then they're showing how it will kind of deploy down, and the nose starts hitting. Yeah, so they're on a range.
Man.
So,
this is gonna get interesting, especially because what was it just last week when they said China had some Japan saw some Chinese carriers off their coast.
here's a big one. It says from the intercept The Trump administration has basically lost control of its foreign policy. Israel is now dictating U.S. policy in the Middle East. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. Sean Hannity reports 6 bunker busting bombs were dropped on Fort Al from U.S. Air Force B-2 bombers. Isfahan and Natanz targeted from Tomahawk cruise missiles from submarines. Wow. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be very interesting. Wow. I don't know how much long we have. Honestly, I don't know how much long we have in terms of even being here. And this isn't to scare or warmonger or, all we can do is just literally look and see. So Israel fully coordinated with U.S. Iraq, U.S. attack on Iran, Israeli Broadcasting Corporation. Wow. I don't even know if I'm able to show this. I'm going to probably get in trouble. I'll be in trouble.
Yeah, I think they took RT down. I'm like, oh, they're fake news.
From YouTube? Did you take them down for YouTube?
No, they took down their they used to broadcast on YouTube and they took their channel down.
Mm-hmm. So you see, folks, it's happening, folks.
Yeah, I know. All the news channels are going in.
Yeah, this is something that's I would not have believed it.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing all this. The world is not a safer place. The world is actually more dangerous than it actually has ever been before. It's more dangerous. Safe?
It is getting wild.
Lindsey Graham praises Trump's Iran strike. This was the right call. Agree with him? Uh-huh. Oh boy. It said Truth Social reportedly goes offline.
Canadian Prepper did his Prepper News update 2 hours ago. First comment, man, I'm really gonna miss running water, electricity, plentiful food.
Man,
and internet. It was good while it lasted.
It was good while yeah, he put something in there. It said they did it. They did it.
They did it.
Goodness. Yeah.
Man.
Be prepared, family. Don't get scared. Be prepared.
Yeah. Keep some water. In Florida, we do it all the time because we have hurricanes, but definitely keep some water on you. Have food for more than one day. Because, man, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like, the way things is right now, you can come up in like 2 days and, China could be running on Taiwan and you can have Russians running down Kiev.
Shoot, you could have Russians and the Chinese over here in Florida.
Yeah, that's true. I still have not seen ICE pull any those fighting age Russians and Chinese dudes we saw crossing the border. I haven't seen them grab any of them yet.
Oh, I'm sure the signal's gonna be coming. That's it. They're gonna let them know. Iran still does have internet, and they'll go through different countries through different VPNs and everything else.
Dorothy Temple. Yeah, Lindsey Graham is mad. I mean, he's doing a dance right now. Lindsey Graham is backflipping.
My Northrop Grumman, my General Dynamics stock is going to be going through the roof. You're not the only one, Nancy.
I'm coming for you. Lindsey Graham is dancing in the streets right now. He's been begging for this for years.
Yes, he was. Yeah, this is going to be a hot summer.
It's a hot girl summer for Lindsey.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man, I can't believe. It's like, it's like you see, it's kind of like a train wreck. It's like you see it coming, but you think, yeah, the train will stop. It'll probably stop. Nah, it ain't stopping.
It's not stopping. That train wreck is not stopping.
Ran into some cars, ran over some old ladies. It's going. It's going. Spider-Man can't stop this.
Well, Red, final thoughts, comments. It's 11 o'clock. I'm tired. I think I was going to be on in here. I'm tired.
Hey, if you have the ability to, I kind of like what Fort Living Room Homestead said, freeze drying food and stuff. Just stock up, man. Go in and stock up. It's most of the folks gonna be out here trying to buy toilet paper, so y'all got a good. You got an advantage because they can't buy toilet paper. But yeah, man. Time to stock up. Bad.
Yeah, have an emergency management plan.
Is that me?
My problem with the emergency plan is I've been getting ready to leave. I'm trying to get to Africa.
Trying to go back.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back. By November, between August and November, I'll be going down there.
You may be a little too late.
I'm trying to go down there. I was thinking about it because I'm like, okay, when I go down there, I got like ideas what I want to start, business, whatever. Like I want to start with a chicken farm, getting agriculture and everything. And I'm like, you know what? The best place to do it is in Burkina Faso. Because let's say I come back to the West and something happens, like let's say I do it in Kenya. They could go ahead and see, the West still got some control over there. But if I do it in Burkina Faso, they can't mess with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you have to understand the laws of what they're doing there because they're not trying to give you really anything that's outside of a either Burkinabe or partnered organization.
Oh, so he's saying even with let's say with a retired visa. I know places like in Kenya, Rwanda.
No, they don't. They're not. What they're trying to do is they're trying to nationalize everything. And they're putting that into.
Over there, they're trying to nationalize, so you can't really go and start a business in Burkina Faso.
Exactly.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So I would have to do it somewhere else then.
So yeah, I'm getting some feedback.
Oh, let me mute I kept myself.
All right. Well, thank you, New Horizon, for coming in. I appreciate it. Let me get on out to Red. And Red, we got a lot of work to do this weekend.
Yeah, things is getting interesting. I'm gonna have to go through my go bags. I mean, I'll go through them every now and then. But I'm gonna go through them again, make sure I'm good because it's looking interesting, man. It's really, really looking interesting.
Yeah. Everybody do a go bag audit. Make sure that you are,
got your necessities. Change of undies, some socks, in case you got to go through some water. Just stuff like that too. Because it's going to get interesting. It's going to get interesting, and it's better to act sooner than later because stuff is probably going to start going up.
Yeah, they will. It will. It will.
But yeah, that's my recommendation to everybody is just, be keep your head on the swivel. If you don't have to go into any crowded places, I wouldn't go in if I don't have to, like straight up.
Mhm.
Like, it's to the point where I'm looking at it like that now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Red, because
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. This is way past my bedtime. I'm
Yep.
crashing. All right. Shalom, Red. Shalom. All right. Well, everyone. Um, yeah, Trump did it. And the US is now a legitimate target. Trump brought us into war. So I'm keeping you all in prayer. That's all I can do. I don't know how much longer I'll be here on YouTube and these places and these social media spaces. I'm doing my best to get some things together on the continent. That actually supports the African diaspora. The Most High is amazing because things had been moving before this happened, and his timing is amazing. So let's keep everyone up in prayer. If you want to call for a day of fasting, just let me know. We could do that. I'll put that on. We'll do that. Thank you, family, for supporting this channel. I have my Cash App. You can do PayPal or Zelle. I appreciate you all support, especially for this season, since I don't know how much longer we have. So we are rapidly moving towards the end of our captivity. And I truly thank the Most High that He's given us a way to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent. So now here we are. And now that means there's a lot of phone calls that got to get done tomorrow. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So please keep me in your prayers on that one. And so a lot of things going on, a lot of things happen. Hallelujah. So with that said, know that the Most High has you. Know that He is taking care of you. You are going to be protected as long as you're walking in wisdom. You're going to, and as long as you're covered under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, you have to be. Ask the Ruach HaKodesh to give you understanding and patience and guidance during these times. We're now hitting the perilous times. We're now hitting that right now. Hallelujah. So with that said, family, I got to get up on out of here, and I am tired. Thank you for tearing with me today. It has truly been a blessing to come on here and report some of the news. I know that there's going to be a lot more going on. If there is, I will try my best to give you all the breakdowns as it's all being reported. With that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Be safe, Yasharel.